Task Force Z, issue 12, Matthew Rosenberg, with Eddie Barrows on the art. So I did not catch up. I should have, but I forgot that I didn't read the last issue, so it was too much work to catch up this week. I say this week, I mean today. Go on, Matt. Tell us all about the final issue.
As where we left off is there's a guy wearing a Red Hood costume. That's not Red Hood.
Connor.
Bane was. What's that?
Connor.
Yeah.
He's wearing Red Hood.
There was a Gotham, the guy, Gotham Girl's brother, was masquerading as Bane, and Bloom is running roughshod, and everything comes to a head here, where Jason Todd has Bloom, and he's just kind of throwing all the forces at him, and he's explaining that this is all what needed to happen, you know, for Bloom to fully realize everyone's true potentials. And he goes, and Jason has him dead to rights, and then Bloom's like, isn't that right, Two-Face? And it would seem that Two-Face has been playing everybody the entire time. And so,
what?
Right? And so that's where Bloom's like, yeah, I'm not going to kill you. He is. And that's where you see the voice stuff, or like the word box switch to the Two-Face type font. But then Two-Face yells at Jason Todd, he goes, hey kid, duck. And then he shoots Bloom in the face. And he was just like, yeah, I'm not going to let that guy ruin everything that I worked so hard for. This was my chance at a second chance. Or this is my shot at a second chance. I'm not letting anyone ruin this for me. And so the team ends up, going nuts, and it would seem that Bloom's defeated, and we don't, probably haven't seen the last of him, but he gets taken out by Gotham because Gotham's pretty upset that he was used as a pawn in all of this. And they all kind of gang up on him, and Jason's like, he goes, Two-Face, is that an all act? He's like, well, not really, but at this point, who's Two-Face, who's Harvey? I'm trying to get right, and I'll do it by any means necessary. And so it leaves it with a more hopeful Harvey. And he tells, Jason, he's like, hey man, there's a guy up there in your suit. You have a free pass for the first time in a long time. So take it from me. Don't let this pass you up. And so Jason's going to go off on his own, and him and Harvey, before they leave, he asks him, he's like, so is Powers International going to do any, serve any, not serve any justice? What's the word I'm looking for? Are they going to be held accountable for any of this? And Harvey's like, I was a DA. I'll give you 2 guesses. And so, Powers gets to keep their hands clean. They're going to pin this on Bloom and everything. They offer the rest of the Lazarus resin to Gotham so he can be resurrected. Gotham declines it and says that, no, I want to have, my last moments be good with my sister. I didn't deserve this second chance. Let's let it go to those that do need it. And it's kind of a bittersweet ending for him and, from Gotham Girl. Then that backup, I forget what it was in. I think it was Tech. I can't quite remember. But, Gotham Girl's still all upset, but so now she actually gets to say goodbye to her brother. Jason goes to leave, and he's hopping a train out, and Steph comes to see him, and he's like, I hope you're not going to try to stop me. She's like, no, but I knew you survived. You're a bat. We were so good, but, I wanted to come and say proper goodbyes. And she goes, I noticed you're going to West Texas. He goes, yeah, it's a good place. It's wide open spaces where, it's easy to get lost. She goes, I also happen to know that's where the Joker was last seen. And he kind of, looks away, and they say their goodbyes. It goes back to Two-Face, and he's, without Waller, without anyone else, he takes the rest of the Lazarus resin and plugs it all into the rest of his team. Except for Man-Bat, or he tells Man-Bat, you deserved, this chance to rest. And it looks like Two-Face is going to lead this undead team to, it's what's going to give him his fully second chance. And that's where the book ends. So it's kind of one of those the end question marks
Feels like
where
it's setting up a story for something else.
something else. So, and I do know that it's setting up the Jason stuff for that Joker book that's coming out. And it feels like we're not done with Two-Face and the Task Force Z.
Interesting.
Yeah, it seems like Bloom, maybe he'll pop back up, but you know, we see the clones from Powers off on vacation in a tropical island, sitting at a bar watching the news as it describes everything that's happened. And yeah, overall, this issue is fine. It's everything wrapping up, but just setting up Jason's next story, and then what's going on with Two-Face if there's another follow up or anything. I really like that, but as a full 12-issue arc, it does kind of get messy here towards the end, where I still don't know exactly what Bloom's endgame was.
I kind of felt like when I think part of the reason why this fell down the priority ladder for me as we were going on is because I think the entire last half of it started to feel like it was almost squeezing into like it was meant to be like at least an 18-issue run, and it was being squeezed into 12 because some of the issues were just flying through so many things.
Yep, and that's here. We started to get a lot more characters popping back up, and this whole Lazarus resin and the whole Bane with Gotham as Bane is a thing to control Jason, because he's gonna want to get his revenge and whatnot, and that was how he was able to keep him in line. But yeah, no, it's a fine series, and the fact that it's made me like Rosenberg so much, I am probably gonna check out that Joker book, which goes against every fiber of my being. But if it's Jason hunting the Joker out in Texas, that's a story I am not upset about. So, but yeah, so I'll give this issue a 7, and just for fun, the whole series at this point, it's about a 7.5. So if it sounds, if you're listening to this and you haven't read any of it, I think if you can catch a cheap collection, it's worth a read. Like, it's pretty fun, especially early on. It's just one of those crazy.
Yeah, it was never a must-read book. It was just kind of a fun, weird kind of side thing.